Pete Cohen here. Welcome to this very special broadcast for Psychologies Magazine. It is my delight to be your guest. I'm a life coach. I love to help people. People often ask me, they say, Pete, what do you do? I say, inspire people to be better than their best every single day. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't know whether you've got your hands on this month's episode of Psychologies Magazine. If you haven't, why not? This is the #1 magazine in the world for developing yourself. And I don't know about you, let me just turn this light off because we don't need it. I think I have enough light on me. I think there's a desire inside all of us to develop. And what I want to talk to you today is about how to create a new normal. If you look at this month's magazine, it's all about planning a fresh start. A lot of stuff here around motivation, creating peace in your mind, peace at home. And I would really encourage you, if you haven't checked this month's episode out, get it out, because not get it out, or get it out. Yes, I mean, buy it and then get it out. So tell us where you are in the world. In fact, if you're watching this live, just put #live. If you're watching this on the replay, put #replay. What Psychologies Magazine is doing and doing online is giving you the opportunity to go to work on yourself. It's probably the greatest experiment, the greatest project you will ever take on, the experiment of making yourself better, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, if you're that way inclined. Let's just look at this. We're looking at normal. So let me ask you a question. And listen, guys, I just want to also tell you I really appreciate you being here, because I believe that the information that I'm just about to pass on to you could seriously affect your life in a positive way. But obviously, the easiest thing you can do is just stop listening and go and look at something else. And because when we look at creating a new normal, in fact, before I tell you that, let me tell you something else. In 1972, the gentleman that won the Nobel Peace Prize basically won it for saying some information around the biggest problem in the world at that time. And do you know what the biggest problem in the world was at that time? So he said, have a guess. Please have a guess. I know we've got people here from all over the place. Thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. What do you think? He said that the biggest issue in the world today, and this was in 1972. Basically, this is what he said. He said the biggest issue is there's too much information. Excuse me? Too much information in 1972. Where did we get our information from in 1972? Books, magazines, encyclopedia. We definitely didn't have, hey Siri. Oh, Siri's not available. There you go, because it's on airplane mode. But normally Siri's pretty good. I could ask Siri any question. He'd give me an answer. I could get information very, very easily. Now, if that was the problem in 1972, what is the issue now, do you think? Well, for many of us, there's just way too much information. And what is normal for people is to be distracted. What's normal for people is not to have their attention. And I personally believe that the most valuable commodity that you have right now is your attention. But your attention gets fragmented. So if I was to ask you, what is normal? And do you want to create a new normal? And what would a new normal, what would that look like? What would a new normal actually look like? So I remember being asked this question when I was at a big event, and one of my mentors was speaking, and he asked that question, what is normal? And I was thinking, you could tell him, well, what's normal? And then he said, normal is just what is normal to you. Normal is often what's been taught to you. Normal is what was maybe normal to your parents. Normal is what you probably think. Normal is what you do every single day. And you might get up at the same time. You might drink coffee at the same time. Just normal is just what you do. It's a habit. The challenge that you and me, we all face, that when we decide to do something different, this is how our brain works. Our brain favors what we know. Our brain favors what is familiar. So we are our own worst enemy. I mean, how many of you right now that are watching this There are things in your life you would love to change. How many of you in your life right now, there is something you would like to change? Something that you're not quite happy about. Maybe you want to be healthier. Maybe you want to feel better about yourself. Maybe you want to start that project, and maybe you've started things in the past, but what we have to face is ourselves when we want to change anything. Because often the biggest obstacle on our way, on our map to going to where we want to go is in here. There's a part of us that's going, no, 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 no. You don't drink water instead of Coke. Look, I've got some Coke here, but you know what? I don't drink this. I use this to wipe this. This is unbelievable for wiping a blackboard. Totally useless information, unless, of course, you're looking for something to clean a board like this. What am I trying to say here to you, wherever you are in the world, and let us know actually where you are in the world. I would love to know, and I'll take some questions at the end, because I am inspired to help you be inspired about creating a new normal. But what we all really have to understand about this, first and foremost, is you're going to come up against adversity, and the biggest adversity is often just in yourself, because we favor what is normal. But how much do you really want to create a new normal? And what is fascinating about you and me and all of us is we only really get to see the best of human beings, in most cases, is when we're forced to create a new normal. Perhaps you or someone you know has been to the doctor, and the doctor said, listen, I've got some bad news for you. Your blood pressure is through the roof. Or I've got some bad news for you. You know, you've got diabetes. And that can often be where someone goes, well, this normal ain't what I want, you know, so I've got to create a new normal. And that often fires people up to take action to move forwards. Does that make sense? Please show me some hearts right now if this makes sense to you, what I'm saying. Because I would love to inspire you so that by the end of this Facebook Live, you go, you know what, Pete? I never thought of it like that. Because what we know is people don't very rarely change when they're told what to do. People change when their perspective changes. And I want to give you a new perspective here and help you to understand that when we tend to get to see the best of human beings, you know, is when we are in a situation where we feel that we don't have any choice. So we're thrusted to move away from where we are. We see no other choice. We say, no, I can't have this. Many of us have done this for other people. We refuse to accept the injustice or something. We go, no, and we go on the rampage, or we go on a charge to create a new normal. But you know what? What is so dangerous is when we get comfortable again. I've worked with so many diabetic people that have lost huge amounts of weight, but once they get to a point where they look better, they feel a bit better, they go back to what was, what's the word we're looking for here, my friends? On Psychologies Magazine, they go back to what is normal. So please understand that. And then, listen, the next biggest challenge we have, and this is one of the reasons I just love Psychologies Magazine, because there's so many great people in here who are giving you some unbelievable tools and tips and techniques and strategies. And I go through this and I make notes because I'm always learning, but it's not just learning. I want to apply. I want to apply. But what is it that I want to apply? So look, just imagine this is you, and you want to create a new normal. And then we've got to think, well, what's going to drive you from here you are to where you want to go? So I don't know where you want to go and where this is the future, you know, what you want to achieve in the future, right? So by the way, we are what the Greeks called teleological, right? So we are goal orientated, right? So this is an arrow trying to aim towards this. We are goal orientated. So we tend to function at our best when we're being driven to something. But what I find so interesting is that when you ask most people what they want, they will tell you what they don't want. I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to feel down, depressed, anxious, sad. I don't want that. Very few people will tell you, listen, this is what I want. I want to be financially free. I want to be healthy. I want to be the very best that I can be. And not just to say that, but to see that. This is one of the biggest gifts that you've been given. You know that, right? We all know this. We've been given an imagination. And it's like, if you think about it, like having two workshops. inside your head, one workshop you can go into to create a life of where you want to go, and the other workshop you can go into is to create images and visions in your mind of everything not working out, things going disastrously wrong. And the real creative people among us are able to go into that workshop and see what it is that we're working towards. Many of us do this for other people. Many of us do it in our jobs. You think of an architect can't go into the workshop in his head and think about a building that doesn't stand up, but he has to see everything really clearly. So you've been given this gift to see where you want to go, but it's because we don't see where we want to go, we don't believe we can go there. And then history tells us, well, you know what, in the past, you failed so many times. You failed here, 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 you failed here. Don't bother. Don't bother trying to create a new normal. Just stay here. Just stay put. But you know what happens when we stay put? We know there's a gap between where we are and where we want to be. And for most people, or for a lot of people, this is where depression and worry and doubt and frustration lives for people. Not everyone, because not everyone is the same. But you were put on this earth, I believe, and from my experience, to give your greatest gifts. You were here on this earth to achieve things, to make things happen. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't enjoy where you are, but for you to say, this is who I am, this is what I'm working towards. And this is how I want to finish this up, because I personally believe, and I want to thank Psychologies Magazine for once again giving me this opportunity. And I'll take some questions from you guys in a moment, giving me this opportunity to show up and share and be your coach, even if it's just for a few minutes, because I'm always learning. And in fact, I'm not sure whether I should say this, but I don't know. So I know Susie Walker, who's the editor of Psychologies Magazine, was with a lady called Andrea McLean, who's written a book which came out recently called Confessions of a Menopausal Woman. It's a fantastic book. Men should read this book as much as women, because men need to understand a little bit more about what happens. But I know they were together yesterday, and I know, in fact, Andrea is speaking at an event that we have a week on Saturday that you're all welcome to come to. It's in central London. There's a link below, and I would encourage you to look at that. But the reason I tell you that is Andrea is all about this, that inside you is a flame. Right? There's inside all of us, there's a flame. But the flame is like a pilot light in a boiler. It doesn't shine very bright. And what we want to do is get that light and shine inside you firing up, being really bright. And nothing burns brighter, really, when you are driven to move towards something. There's something that is compelling you to get up every single day. And this is where I want to kind of wrap this up, and hopefully you'll take something away from this. Unfortunately, what drives a lot of people is emotional pressure, wanting to conform, doing things out of maybe shame or disappointment or frustration. That's what drives a lot of people. And through that, what seems to develop is something called inertia, where we just go round in circles and we don't feel that we're getting anywhere. Now, I don't know whether you've ever felt like that in your life, but so many people do. What is a much better driver, and this takes time, and sometimes we need help, is play. To play with what we do, not to play around with it, like to be mischievous, but to play in terms of actually working on enjoying what you're doing that's moving you in the direction that you want to go. It's a hard concept for some people to get. They say, what, play around at being healthier? I don't enjoy exercising. Play around at eating better? I don't enjoy cooking. Play around at getting up a bit earlier? I like sleeping. Well, sleeping is important, but not too much sleep. So play. This is something I was talking this morning to my coaching community this morning. Play, purpose, and potential. These are much stronger drivers that will help you create a new normal. If you want to create a new normal, you want to be driven by playing with what you do. Purpose in terms of you see a purpose to this. You see that if you did this today, you like where it's going to go, so it makes you want to do it. And then potential. Potential is just about getting better at something. And this is why I believe there is a gap for us, because we're not playing at things. We're not enjoying what we're doing. We don't see the bigger picture to what we're doing, and we don't allow ourselves to get better. Does this make sense? Is this useful for you? Because you can create a new normal by starting to really bring these to the surface. And it's my pleasure to talk to you about all of this, because it's something that's at the front of my mind at the moment, because it's what we've been talking about to our coaching community. So let me just bring my phone on here and find the broadcast here, and then I can see if you guys, there I am, look, I've just got a, isn't that weird? Look. Isn't that bizarre? We'll see what this guy's got to say. Okay, so let's have a look at, if anyone has any questions, show me some hearts if this has been useful. Make your new normal buying Psychologies Magazine instead of the gossip ones. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Merlin, where are you from? Where is everyone from? Susan Henderson has joined us. Great to see you. Fiona Roberts is here. Great to see you. Adam, Lavat, Diane Hughes. Great to see you. Agraz, let us know where you are. Hi from Reunion Island. Reunion Island. Where is Reunion Island? So, yes, I would definitely. Psychologies Magazine is really, where it's at. Most magazines are just interested in gossip that feed a part of your brain that wants to read about a story. We love stories, but the greatest story ever told is your story, and your story isn't over yet. And you've got an opportunity to create not just a normal story. We've got Karen, who's based in Copenhagen. Fantastic. We've got Neil, who's in NJ. Is that New Jersey? New Jersey. Hey, what do you got to do, huh? What do you got to do to get a cup of coffee around here? I love New Jersey. I've only been to New Jersey once. We've got Malaysia in the house. We've got Thailand in the house. So if we take a moment to think about how lucky we are that we have this, well, we have people from all different corners of the world: Copenhagen, Scandinavia, Thailand, Malaysia, New York, New Jersey. This is amazing, right? In fact, if I shared this broadcast right now, which I am going to share it, I'm going to share it on my own timeline because I can. You never know who is going to see this. This is the greatest thing. And I'm so truly thankful to all of you, because we are all in the story-making business. So where are you from? Is near Madagascar. It's a little French island. Bonjour, ça va? We've got Cambridgeshire, which I take is in Cambridgeshire in England. We've got Wisconsin's in the house. So think about it. It's amazing. We've all got something in common. We love Psychologies Magazine. We're showing up here because we know there's a better story in us. And in order for that story to unfold, you probably need some help. You need something you can dial into. And what Psychologies Magazine does, it gives you some of the greatest coaches, psychologists, therapists, psychotherapists, hypnotherapists, life coaches to help you and inspire you. Does anyone have any questions before we finish off? Feel free to follow me on Facebook. I've got a very famous podcast called MI365, MI365. You can follow me on Instagram at Pete Cohen _. Any questions? And once again, thank you to Psychologies Magazine. I am one of their biggest fans, and especially I did a brilliant podcast with Susie Walker, who's the editor, and she tells her story of how she made this happen. An amazing story. There's a story in you. I would love to be a part of the story that you are creating. Anyone have any questions? Has this been useful? Show me some hearts. Show me some love. Show me some hearts if you found this. I love it. It's amazing. We've got people in Madagascar. We've got people in America. We've got people in Scandinavia. We've got people in Malaysia. Truly unbelievable. What's your biggest takeaway from what I've just said? Is it the new normal that needs to be created? Is it that you now know why the new normal is difficult to happen because of the way your brain thinks? It wants to protect what you know. Are you now going to think, can I play around in a positive way to achieve my goals? Any questions? Let's stay in touch if we can. Let's be friends. Hey, let's do lunch. The coffee's on me, huh? The coffee is definitely on me, because I'm a big fan of coffee. If I can help any of you, please send us a message. And if any of you are in the UK, click on the link, which I believe might be in this post for, I don't actually think it's come out, for an event that we have got coming up. What's your Facebook name? Missed the start. Hey, is that Gigi? My Facebook name is my name, which is Pete Cohen. Pete Cohen. And my 365, you might also find me under, especially my podcast. And go and check out the interview with Susie Walker. What a great story. Thank you so much for being here. Feel free to watch this from the beginning, and like it, share it, comment. Let's help more and more people by going first. Thank you. I love you all, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time, when I will be broadcasting again on behalf of the greatest magazine ever put together. Yes, Psychologies Magazine. Subscribe. Not now, but right now. Goodbye.